Hello, this is the TradeSight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview and Domestic Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Monday, the 29th of September 2014 and ending Friday, October 3rd. The key for this next week is that Tuesday is the end of quarter. We'll talk about that a little bit more ahead. We're going to first look at the indices and where they're at, look at some of the individual stocks that we trade and where they're at, talk a little bit about what the market did this week that we just completed. And I'm also making a separate video of the trades that we ran for the week. It was a really solid week for us here at TradeSight. Again, month of September has been very nice to us. And then we'll go back and look at the economic data and what to expect for the week ahead and discuss what that end of quarter will mean for us. So here's a look at the ES futures, the S&P E-mini futures contract. Obviously, we had Monday and Tuesday down. Wednesday bounced back a bit. Thursday sold off sharply. Friday bounced back a little bit. Trend for the week ever since that reversal day last Friday for options expiration has been down. Again, if you look at this month, what you really should see is that even though we were flat and kept closing at that 2,000 level, what I really see here is that we topped out at the end of August. We tried to roll over. We got a bounce for options unraveling to close options expiration at the highs there, that one day that swept the highs, and then we've resumed the downtrend. We're still trying to get back to that red static trend line on the daily chart there. That's what I think. So here's a look at the Nasdaq side. Again, down on Monday, flatter on Tuesday, up on Wednesday to the highs of the week actually. Big down day Thursday and rebounded a little bit on Friday. We're still under the 10 EMA there. The SOX index, the semiconductors, kind of the same, down a little bit, and the biotechs actually held up for the week. Here's a look at Google, which was setting up a nice breakout, but kind of came in this week. Here's a look at Apple. It also came in this week, closed at the lows of the week, and basically at the lows of the month as well. Here's a look at Amazon, also near the lows of the month, and Tesla, something else we trade a lot, down a little bit for the week, basically a flat week on average for Tesla after Monday. And here's a look at Netflix, another one that we trade frequently. This one was flat for the week. All right, let's take a look and see. Oh, I forgot. Let's take a quick look at crude oil. Hit as high as 94 on Friday, back up a little bit this week. And one last thing, let's take a look at Nasdaq volume. Nasdaq volume was strongest on Thursday. We had great, really great trading days on Monday and Thursday. Wednesday was fine by the afternoon. Tuesday was okay. But definitely solid Monday and Thursday, and both of those were, guess what? Take a look at it, the highest volume days of the week. Monday we had about 1.75 billion shares traded on the Nasdaq, and Thursday was 1.8, as opposed to 1.7 on Tuesday, only 1.6 just above it on Wednesday, and then Friday, of course, with the Jewish holiday and being at Friday, only just over 1.5. So no surprise, the two best trading days of the week are the two biggest volume days. That's why we track volume so closely, because it's so important in our results. All right, now let's take a look at what the markets actually did this week. So here is a look at 10-minute bars on the ES futures contract. This will get us back to last Friday's close. You'll be able to see all 5 days of the week. We had a small gap down on Monday, and then we kept going, and that was a good downward session for us. We never filled that gap on the ES. Tuesday, we gapped down. We did fill the gap, but then rolled right after that, closed a little more negative. Wednesday, we gapped up a small amount, filled that gap, and then rallied. Thursday, gap down, never filled. Friday, a flat opening, a horribly boring first half of the day, and then popped in the afternoon. Either some shorts closing out their positions for the weekend, or somebody thought something good was going to go on in the market. Nasdaq side, going to look similar, but a little different because of the move up Wednesday. We got the gap down and did not fill and went lower on Monday. Tuesday, gap down and filled, then flat, not a drift down at all on Tuesday here. Wednesday, gapped up, filled it, and rallied. That almost took us back to fill the gap from Monday, but not quite. Thursday, gap down and sold off hard, and I mean hard. And that was really beneficial for us. Friday, small gap up that actually did not quite fill, missed it by a tick or two, and then rallied back up in the afternoon after a boring morning session. So that's what we got this week. All right, so let's talk about what's coming in the week ahead. Let's start with the economic data. There is a lot of it. That's good for getting some activity going, but here's the big problem. Monday, personal income and spending, PCE prices, which is an inflation index, and then 30 minutes into the market pending home sales. The problem is by this point, we're in the last 2 days of the quarter, which is what we call end of quarter window dressing. It shows up. It means that most of the institutions and funds already have their positions where they want them to read for the statements at the end of the quarter, which will be Tuesday after the close. And so by Monday, you're probably not going to see a super amount of activity unless something else goes on in the world. Tuesday, which is the big day, that's the actual end of quarter. We've got the Case-Shiller 20-City Home Index. We've got Chicago PMI, which is a good number, and Consumer Confidence, which is a good number. Those could typically move the market, but I wouldn't expect a lot with the end of quarter close. Now, again, it could happen if something shocks the market, but just on average, we're usually a little light and cautious at the end of the quarter. Now, what does that mean for the next day? Well, the next day is the beginning of the new quarter, and all bets are off. You can go either way and get moving. We're still in a time of year that's usually a little negative for another 2 or 3 weeks. So generally speaking, you would expect that to continue lower, maybe after these statements print. But October 1st, Wednesday, we've got the MBA mortgage index, ADP employment change, ISM index, construction spending, crude oil inventories, and then in the afternoon, auto and truck sales. There's a lot of data on a Wednesday and the first day of a quarter to get the market moving. Thursday, challenger job cuts, the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims data, and factory orders along with natty gas. And then Friday, some big stuff here. We've got the non-farm payrolls number, which goes with the unemployment rate. That's big. And we've got the trade balance at the same time, another big one, and ISM services. So we could have some excitement next Friday, a lot more than we just had on this Friday, I would say. So that's a big week for economic data. And with us getting past those statements, I think Wednesday and Thursday and even Friday could be exciting. I'm just not banking on Tuesday being too exciting, and probably not Monday either. That's how we approach the week. Of course, we'll be here every day just in case. You never know, and certainly be calling it as we usually do. But if you have questions, you can certainly stop by our lab, and we will be there to help you out. Have a great trading week. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you find the information in this video useful, please like us on YouTube.